Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome back to the Surge walkthrough. Last time we took down the Big Sister 1/3, we got her special weapon, the Spitfire Rod version 2.0, and then we fell down a shaft into research and development, and apparently we are getting ever closer to the executive forums where we can finally meet and potentially rescue Sally and find out what is going on in this crazy facility. In this episode, we are going to begin to get a lot of story. We're even going to start and see glimpses of Dr. Jean Barrett. Now, up until now, we have only heard of him. Dr. Melissa Chavez is kind of the other side of the coin. One is Project Revolve, one is Project Utopia, but exactly what do those projects entail? Well, we're going to start finding that out as we explore research and development. But before we head out there, what am I wearing? What am I using? I am wearing the full MG Gorgon set. This is, of course, the security set that you can get in Central Production B. And the bonus is that it gives me increased stamina regeneration when I wear the full set. I do have this all upgraded to Mark II, which is giving me 90 overall defense, which is not too bad all across the board. As far as weapons go, I'm using the Spitfire Rod version 2.0. This will mostly be used for robots just because of the elemental damage. I also still have favorited my Bloodhound, and I actually have the Vibro Cutter from the very first area of the game, simply because there are going to be enemies in the later stage of this area and many in the next that really have no armor whatsoever, so a very quick one-handed weapon that does bonus damage to unarmored is going to do a really good job. So, what do I have for implants? I have the Ancillary Core XL. I did need that added core power. Medical Audit. And then I have a few vital boosts here. You can see I have vital boost 1, 2, and 3. 2 version 1s, 1 version 3. I have the aggression amplifier, so my plan is to get some health back every time I get an execution. I have the mechanized counterweight V3, vital injection V3, and the metavoltaic injection. Now, I know I say this all the time. This area coming up is really going to start to ramp up the difficulty. Having health and having healing is not a bad idea. I'm going to say it, I'm risking it right now by only going with one true healing injectable. This one, obviously, I can heal with, but I need to have the energy to do so. I'm going to be relying a lot on getting finishing moves, which you do want to get finishing moves in this area because many of the enemies actually have Mark III armor, and there's actually some new armor and weapons to get in general. So we are going to head out of Ops, and we're going to go up these stairs, and right away, we are going to be introduced to a new enemy type. Now, not the flamethrower, we've seen that before, but it's the drone. That drone is actually going to shield enemies. And when that shield is on, if you dash in, you can take a substantial amount of damage just from the shield itself. So if we want to deal with him, typically, we're going to have to focus on the drone first, and we're going to see this quite a lot. So, that being said, let us go ahead and target the drone. You can see the shield is active. And what I want to do is I'm just going to circle strafe, and you know what, actually, oh, okay, that was silly. I actually could have taken some damage there. But the idea was, all right, here we go, and almost dead. I took a little bit of burn damage. You know what? I wonder if I can just take him out even with a couple of pot shots here, just to play it safe. This is a good opportunity to use the charged infrared blaster. Here we go. Oh, no. There it is. All right. So now that he's down, we can start taking down this guy. And that health that we lost, if we can just get a cut, we should be able, let's switch to the Bloodhound. We should be able to simply get our health back through the finishing move. Okay, back up. Dash in. Oh, and get the finish and watch my health go right back up. Perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. Get our staff proficiency up to level 8. Excellent. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that shield that they just had. We can get it. We can't get it until a little bit later, but that is actually the shield that the Iron Mouse gear talks about. So you can see here, wearing a full set of Iron Mouse gear causes your drone's anti-kinetic shield to also greatly increase your stability. The anti-kinetic shield is what they're using, and we can get it later. Put our Gorgon back on. Also, speaking of drone modules, there's something else that I want to touch on before we go into that room and hear from Dr. Jean Barrett. We've already talked about how weapons can be favorited and you can cycle through. The same thing happens with injectables, although you don't actually have to favorite them, it just happens automatically. But your drone modules can also be favorited, and this actually took me a little while to learn. But you can see now I have the Infra Blaster and the Industrial Electromagnet favorited, And then when I'm in the game using my controller, if I push up on the D-pad, watch in the top left, it simply cycles through. So you don't actually have to go in and equip the new module. You can simply go through that way.
I must say I'm surprised management was able to send someone over for the inspection, given the, circumstances. Well, anyway, I'm Dr. Gene Barrett, project lead on Utopia, head of R&D. Apologies, of course you know all that. So, let's get straight down to business then. We'd hate to waste your time now, wouldn't we? Please, take a look around. You'll find everything's in order. I'll just prepare everything for our little chat.
It already seems like something might be amiss with Dr. Gene Barrett. He is talking a little bit like maybe his faculties aren't all there, and we're going to meet up with him quite a bit later. Now, in this area, in research and development, you're going to find a number of these cases. We've already seen some on the exhibition floor, but these ones are all filled with gas, and you can see new chemicals, new formula, same thing. These gases are similar or probably identical to the ones that the canister shooting enemies use. It is toxic, but it is also highly flammable. So if there's gas in the room, not only will you take residual damage, you will also take a ton of damage if a flamethrower guy happens to show up. So you have to be careful. Often what I'll do, just to be safe, is I'll actually break the cases and then get somewhere safe while it dissipates. So you can see I'm totally safe over here. You can kind of see the area of effect around each of the cases. But slowly but surely, yep, there we go. It is now perfectly safe. Now nothing can blow up on me, and I don't take any contact damage from the gas itself. This is going to be a shortcut a little bit later. Go ahead and grab the Adrenaline Shunt V1. This is a brand new implant for us, hiding almost in plain sight. Energy consumption 20. Enhances the senses, making enemies seem to move more slowly. Remember the Medoxanol that we gave to Davy? This is the other version that doesn't actually drain your health. So for just 20 energy, and we're going to be using this later, you can actually get a form of bullet time. Very, very useful if you have to fight more than one enemy at a time. So we'll play with that a little bit later on. So that way is locked. Like I said, that's going to be a little bit of a shortcut. But for now, we're going to go in here, and already we're going to start and face multiple enemies at a time. You can see there's a flamethrower right here. Now, they're wearing different gear than the ones previously. So we want to farm for this armor set. This is actually the Elite Hazard set. And they have an awesome gear set bonus. But I'll talk about that once I start getting some pieces. All right, let's focus maybe on the head first once I can get in there. Ideally, I would pull him into this room because there are several other enemies in that room. Come on. Many of these also will have a gas canister on their back. And if you can circle around, drop them to their knees, and then actually attack that canister, you can get them in one hit. They will actually explode and die instantly. But at that point, you also don't get any of the... Oh, you got up quickly. You got up very quickly. Uh-oh. And there's the cut. Get some health back. Perfect. And there it is, our first piece of the Elite gear. We get the Elite Hazard headgear schematic. When you're wearing the entire set of the Elite Hazard suit, I think someone's actually coming up. Remember that one drone module that I found questionable? The emergency coolant vent? It spews out this gas and it slows everyone down. When you're wearing the Elite Hazard set, it'll actually turn that coolant into a toxic gas, which will kill enemies around you. Very, very useful for groups of enemies. Hopefully that is something we'll get around to playing with as well. So we got the head. Let's see. Let's kind of scud around. You can see there's a flamethrower there, and he does have the gas canister. The one next to him is the canister shooting enemy, and then over on this, we have another canister. Yeah, they're just kind of all over the place. My goal currently, I don't like that he's patrolling down there. What I might do is wait until he patrols back, and, well, he's not really going to patrol back anytime soon, is he? If I can get the flamethrower to go back that way, then I'm going to rush down, get on top of that platform with the canister, and deal with him first. The canisters are arguably more dangerous than the flamethrowers, even though I find them easier to kill because of the combustibility of the gas itself. You know what? Actually, if this guy wants to come up here, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And you can see that one over there. He does have the anti-kinetic shield. We're going to see that quite a bit. You know, he's launching a lot of canisters here. I could almost get him to get out of there. Ah, it didn't work. You can actually bait the canisters near the flamethrower enemies and then get out of there, and they can blow themselves up. But this is actually a bad situation. Okay, I'm gonna revise my method on the fly. I'm just going to charge to that platform and go right towards him. I think a canister just hit me right in the head. Nope, don't want to fight you. Just trying to hit your drone. And unfortunately, I was taking some damage there. There's gas now all over the place. This is getting bad. Come on, drone, I need you to... Oh, no. I'm not even sure what just hit me there. All right, that went poorly. Was there a second anti-kinetic drone? Oh. Because of the flamethrower. All right. Right, change of plans. We are gonna try and pull this guy. Come on, pal. Now what I could do... I can always farm for the gear later, so... That works for me. That works for me. I didn't get the finish, but I can at least use the metavoltaic. Quickly, get rid of the drone. All right, drone is gone. Now we just need to focus on him. He's actually taking some damage from his own gas. And all right, great. Almost back up to full. Now, something that's relatively, actually, I wouldn't even say relatively, easy to miss. There's an item in this room that, honestly, I didn't find the first couple of times through. Has nothing to do with this terminal, has everything to do with that, right there. That door, you can see there's an item behind it. Well, all we need to do is jump up to it, right from that table. This is actually a brand new drone module, the flamethrower tank. Basically, you get a flamethrower. You don't get it as a weapon, you just get it as an accessory to your drone. Really cool. In fact, let's go ahead and favorite that. I'll try and get that in use. How much energy does it take? 48. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we'll see if we can get that at some point. All right. Now, we're not going to actually go too far here, but just keep in mind where we're at. See those boxes? See those from the other side. Just a moment. It's kind of a bit of a shortcut. It will allow you to run past some enemies, although you still have to run past some in this room. And I am going to get that terminal. I want to clear this room first before we do that. All right. Another anti-kinetic shield drone there. All right. Oh, lots of gas, get out. And I was using the wrong weapon. That was actually my vibro cutter, but hey, as long as they're dead. And back up. I should be able to get the cut here. Get some health back. All right. And also, several of you did point out that those aggression amplifiers do in fact stack. So if you want to get multiple health back, or if you want to get many percentage back of your health every time you do a finishing move, you can stack those aggression amplifiers. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use that terminal, but then we have some story in here too. We have some emails, and also each of these consoles you can at least look at just for a little bit of information. Let's grab this first. Does take 27, so if you haven't been leveling, you may be out of luck. There we go. And now we can see nano mass flow control. So we're going to start hearing a lot about nanotechnology. Project Utopia, projected organic casualties, 95% global. Whatever Project Utopia was, it was not good for the populace.
I can't with good conscience continue. We need more time. But they say we always say that. Mainly because it's true. Utopia is a better solution in the long run. It doesn't have the side effects of Resolve. Well, not exactly true. It has one large cataclysmic side effect. But instead of taking years, it's immediate. There's no stopping them, though. Those people, those poor, poor people. We're meant to help them, right? That's our job. Otherwise, what's the point?
So we're finding some information about Utopia versus Resolve. And that audio log just told us that Utopia would be better in the long run because it's immediate, but it's also very, very dangerous and cataclysmic. Projected healing time frame higher than decay time frame. And over here, this is the door. This was locked until we just interacted with that terminal back there. Just be careful though. Now with this enemy, I might actually try and get his tank just to show you what happens because it's kind of funny. There it is. Just stand back. Oh no, camera. Oh, anyway, it's not that exciting. But anyway, that is an easy way to get the kill. If you can drop them to the knees and just go ahead and hit their tank. And this is where you finally get confirmation that it really is Barrett versus Chavez. Display, login, Barrett, Chavez, team lead, Resolve. We get another plasmic regenerator. Just pretty interesting here. Also, if you notice, it says login Barrett. Over here it says login denied because Melissa Chavez was fired because she had her doubts about what Creo was truly doing. All right, so this room's now completed. Let's begin heading up. Of course, more enemies along the way. And let's see, with this one, I don't really want to get the canister. I'm gonna focus on leg. Careful of that gas. He's probably gonna blow himself up. Yep, he did, but can I still get the, oh jeez. Whoops, might have to use a big boy healing there. I went in a little bit early. I didn't actually realize his canister was on fire. Oh well, such things happen. Underneath that table, you get the Vanadium E-Cell V3. We've already had the Vanadium E-Cell, but here's a nice little upgrade for you. And going into these vents, remember this box? There we go. So really, that shortcut, it doesn't bypass a whole lot. And you still have to get past a few enemies just to get to the shortcut, if you want to even call it that at all. Head up this exolift right here. Now, take your time going through research and development and the subsequent areas because there's a lot of these walkways. A lot of these walkways and a lot of exolifts. It's very easy to get lost, trust me. Let's go ahead and turn on our gear lights here. Even though it's not too dark. There's some that are much, much darker. Now, if you were closer, I could actually get a drop attack on you, but... Fortunately, the next few enemies are not canister enemies. They are not flamethrower enemies. They just have the power grip. So not as bad, but get cuts when we can, just so we can keep getting the materials. There's the cut, perfect. Now what I am going to do is I'm actually going to switch to my injectable because we're getting close to filling up that tech scrap bar in the bottom right whenever it pops up. So if we do that while that injectable is equipped, then we should be able to get another injectable. I'm gonna go for the head again. Seems pretty reliable. Also getting my multiplier up. Perfect. This will make it easier to craft that elite hazard suit later on. None of these doors on the side will open, but we can just go straight to the end here. Guided towards this way. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now this room has several of these enemies in it, and if we get just a little bit closer and look, there's that one just kind of waiting for you. All right, how about we go for, let's see, let's go for the chest piece. Back up. Didn't realize I was that close, that's on me. Ooh, taking even more damage there. But you know what? If I time this right, then I should be able to get some health back from the kill. And enough for the metavoltaic, perfect. That worked out very, very nicely indeed. All right, back to the injectable. Now again, lots and lots of gas here. So we can either break it ourselves, or we can have them break it and find ourselves a little bit stuck. So I'm just gonna break them all and then get out. And actually this worked out even better because this guy is now following. What do I want now? What a leg. And now we are fully topped off. Excellent. We are inching our way towards that tech scrap bonus. Okay, now we can freely explore. 2 more enemies in here. Grab this one. A nice smack to his dome there. Oh, he got some hits on me, but I'm gonna get some health right back. Now, one of the most reliable attacks that I've had with the Bloodhound, when you're targeting the head specifically, is R1, R2, and then R1 again. You get a lot of hits, and it'll keep them stunned pretty well, unless they have super high stability, which these enemies fortunately don't. And how about, let's see if we can go for another leg. We need it. All right, let's get you activated. Back up. Don't need to take any more unnecessary damage. And once again, back to full thanks to that aggression amplifier. A really good way to stay topped off, and it encourages you further to get cuts, which I highly recommend, because anytime you can increase your tech scrap bonus or you can get materials is going to be for your own benefit. Now from here, it looks like we have a 3-way split. This door doesn't want to open yet. We do have an enemy hiding behind this grate. In fact, let's kill him first. Let's go for the leg again. Thank you for that. Keeping it safe. One more hit. Perfect. Get to know your weapons and exactly how many hits and what combos are going to be necessary in order to bring enemies either to their knees or to go ahead and get the cut. And we don't want to go that way just yet. Instead, I'm going to go out here. Now, the first thing that we notice is we have this terminal, level 27. This is going to open up that door across the way. So that is now accessible to us. But, see this pipe? See how it is strategically placed just over this railing? And if we take a look carefully, you can just kind of see, yep, there it is. There is a shiny. It's not too terrible to get. You just need to have just a dash of bravery. There we go. You can jump over the railing, face this pipe right here, and just do the same thing. Oh, there it is. All right. And we get a brand new implant again. This is the Sns Disinhibitor V3. So when you just take a look at the top section, you think it sounds really good. Energy gain plus 50%, stamina regen plus 50%. Sure, why wouldn't I want that? The problem is it is only while near death. So if you're staying topped off like we're planning on, this unfortunately isn't going to do us much good at all, which is a shame. But if you are someone who finds themselves kind of without health quite a bit, you can stack that, and you can also stack the implants that heal you over time when you're near death, and hey, maybe you can get something good out of it. All right, so going across the way, Frankenstein, you're next. What was Dr. Frankenstein known for? Bringing things to life that probably shouldn't be brought back to life using various pieces and parts of whatever he could find laying around. Heading down this exo lift now. All right, starting to get a little bit dark, so I do have my gear lights on. And I'm going to switch to the vibro cutter and open this. I don't want to fall down just yet. There we go. Oh, okay. I wanted to fall down exactly then and land on this monitor. Perfect. I'm just kidding. There was nothing planned here. Now, I'm trying to not set in motion what's about to happen. See that case right there, just above my blade. That is a new enemy with a new weapon, and we want the weapon. That is a Proteus, and he's using the codename Parsifal. It's a one-handed weapon. It's essentially a direct upgrade to the vibro cutter, actually, and we can get even another upgrade to it later on. But as soon as we get close, he's going to burst out and he's going to attack us. Now, this version of the Proteus has no armor to speak of, so you can target wherever you want, and you're going to do decent damage, especially with anything that's good against unarmored, like things with slashing damage. If we want to get his cut, we have to focus on his arm, but there's something else to the Proteus, but we'll take a look once we take him down. Now, his attacks, they are very, very delayed often, so be very careful. Don't just rush in there. I want to show you the one that always catches me. It's going to run at me with it over his head. There's that, and then, oh. And There it is. You think he's actually going to do a horizontal when in fact he does something else entirely. But he doesn't have much health. His danger really comes largely from just how quickly he can attack. And yes, he does do some damage when he connects. Just, you know, don't let him connect. So I'm just taking my time because I'm trying to focus just on that arm and build that. Oh, that's going to hit. Nope. And swing around. Yeah, we're not going to get enough energy this time around. That's okay. Because we get another chance. We get another chance because all of the Proteus machines that we fight are going to come back. And if you don't get the cut first time, you can still get it this time. So we are just going to build up the energy. And I should really be using dashing attacks to build up energy and not actually do that much damage. Oh, unfortunate. That's okay.
Have been released from containment. Please follow the emergency protocols and proceed to the nearest secure area.
Assets have been released. We're going to fight many of them throughout this area, so we don't have to worry about it too much.
We're definitely getting there, but the shock to the brain, whether psychological or by surgical trauma, is still unpredictable. At worst, they're psychotic. At best, the mental capacity of a 2-year-old. I don't know which is worse. Once they're in that body, the power is truly frightening. The good news is that the organic machine interface is working perfectly.
Talk about the Proteus. Now this back here is very, very helpful to have. This is actually the toxic auto filter. This is the implant we talked about when we first entered R&D that will completely negate the effects of any toxic gas. Now, of course, it can still blow up on you, doesn't negate that, but you can walk through freely without taking any residual damage. The best part about it is that it is a hot swappable item. In other words, if you have a hot swap equipped, for example, the ancillary core, well, that's a bad example because I can't really remove that, but the medical audit, for example, if I'm in a place where I know that there's going to be a lot of toxic gas, I can simply stop, throw in the toxic auto filter, get through that section, and then go right back to the medical audit whenever I need. It's a very, very useful mechanic. And now, look where we are. Ops is that way, this is the room with all the bad guys, and now we can go right back topside to where we just dropped down. Research and development, like I said, it is very, very confusing, but it's completely manageable if you take your time and just make notes of various landmarks, like those boxes that I saw earlier. As long as you can make sense of where you are, you'll remember where you are. One thing that Deck 13 Interactive does remarkably well is armor and weapon design. If you played Lords of the Fallen, you may not have cared for the story, you may not have enjoyed the combat, but if you can't say that the armor and the weapons were just exquisitely crafted, then I don't think you were playing the same game as I was, because they just do such a great job. All right, plunge attack. Oh, I didn't point it out, but this is another security door, so we can't actually go through there. That's why I didn't do anything with it. So now we're back in this room. So if you remember, we just went to the left. That's how we got down to the Proteus. We can always go back there to farm him if we need to, but like I said, we're going to be running into them several times. So another crossroads. We have left and we have right. We are going to go right and actually take this exolift down. Grab this item right here. Vital Boost V3, excellent. And we are actually now right back at operations. Perfect. But I'm not going to wrap up just yet. There is a little bit more that I would like to do before we actually call it an episode there. Once we get the next shortcut, that is where I'll wrap it up. There are just many, many ways to get back and forth from operations, which makes it handy, but again, it does make it so it can be a little bit confusing how to get where. Taking the exolift up this time, and dash through here. Nano Production Hall again, focusing on the nanites.
You're early. Well, good, good. Very efficient. Everything to your satisfaction. All smooth sailing here. On track, on time. Now, I'll just be with you shortly. I just need to take care of, well, you know.
And if you notice behind him, there was another Proteus, just like the one we fought, although it looked a little bit beefier, if you will. All right, let's go for another leg cut. As you know, you do need a lot of leg materials if you want to craft both legs, of course. There we go, completely topped off. And, you know, I didn't even point it out when it happened. I don't even know when it happened, but we are back up to 3 injectables because of that tech scrap. It is really good to focus on getting that multiplier up and holding a good amount of tech scrap. I know that that sounds counterintuitive to everything we've learned in action RPGs of time past, but keep in mind, the risk and reward system is really well crafted in the Surge. Now in this hallway, definitely have your gear lights on. Don't be too afraid by these robots just yet. Be worried about them soon, but they are locked behind doors. We just have this one enemy to deal with, who's actually just using... It actually looks like a Spectre Bite, but without any power. He's a very, very weak enemy. And what I love here is, see this button? That is going to open up those doors. And there are 2 of these smelter bots in there. But if you look above it, it actually says, don't push the button. That's not terrible advice, I'm going to tell you right now. All right, I'm actually going to switch to the Spitfire Rod, and we are going to focus on his arm. And keep going, just break it off. I don't want to fall, though. Uh-oh. Well, we're kind of trapped now. Hopefully we don't take too much damage. All right. Well, the other one fell, which is unfortunate, but we'll just kind of wail on him for a bit. We'll get enough energy to use our Metavoltaic again soon. And there it is. Perfect. So he's dead. The other one fell, and he's almost dead anyway, so we'll deal with him momentarily. So Vital Injection V3, we've already gotten plenty of those. That'll restore 180 HP. And now, you see that terminal, 25. And this guy is, wow, you're actually on the ledge I need. It looks like, for all intents and purposes, you should be able to jump from here. You think you would probably just sprint down here, run and jump. If you can make it, I've never done so. I have failed each and every time. Oh, he's actually trying to get me there. What you actually need to do is drop down to the ledge where this smelter bot is and jump from there, which is a very tricky proposition, and I almost guarantee that I'm gonna fail it this time around. But let's No. Okay. So the goal is you basically need to sprint against this wall and then turn with the left stick and click it so you can make that jump, because, well, actually, you can probably go from the side. I might try that. You need to be able to sprint in order to get the jump. You know what? I don't even think that's long enough. So we're going to try this. If I don't get it, I will show you how to loop back around. Oh, okay. I'm just going to casually walk off instead, because who even needs that terminal? Answers me. I do. I need the terminal. We'll be back, though. We'll be back. Unfortunately, we have to clear some enemies before we're going to get there. All right, now. Canister enemy. Going for the leg here. And no, don't kill him. All right, whew, that was close. That was a close one. But there is the leg schematic for the Elite Hazard set. Perfect. Energized Power Cell V3. Not a new implant, just a new version of one that we've already had a few times. Now in here, this is going to be another place where there are multiple ways to go. You see we have a door here that doesn't open. Always check your surroundings to see how you might be able to open this. Now some of them don't open from this side, but this one, we just need to find the drone. Nope, not yet. Didn't mean to actually go in there and trigger anything just yet, but you can actually see this is going to be a shortcut for us. We need to get through a number of enemies though, so it's not exactly smooth sailing. Many of the enemies here also are going to have the anti-kinetic shield going, so we're going to have to try and find... Ooh, where even is your drone? Oh, he's hiding right behind you. Let's see if we can get him to come out and play. Oh, you see that? And that was damage taken from the shield itself, unfortunately. Okay, drone is dead. We are now gonna focus. I wanna get an arm cut on these guys. So once he's done, I'm gonna go in there for a jab. Back up. I will take my time if I have to. We're getting too close to the next shortcut and the next wrapping up point. Back up. All right, this is good. And that should be the schematic for us. And indeed it is. Perfect, as well as some more tungsten Mark II. Not the worst thing in the world to have. All right, now, scoping this next room. There's actually a robot on the other side of that block. There's a smelter bot. There's also a couple of these canisters that have the gas in them. So ideally, yeah, I don't like the sign of that. Let's actually get our drone to pull this guy. The last piece we need is actually just the chest piece. I would like to get it, but it is also the most dangerous one to get on the flamethrower enemies, because you either go in the back and you try and get him, but then you explode his canister, or you face the flames head on, which is what we are going to end up having to do. But we'll just try and, oop, a little bit of damage there. Back up, back up. Back up. You can see it is just so heavily armored. You know what? I can probably actually get away with using a metavoltaic and still get the cut. Back up, back up, back up. Don't you break that glass. All right, back up. Get him away from it. Get him away from it. All right. Because we're getting so close to operations, I am going to go ahead and just use my regular healing. He's about halfway and I have no energy. That's probably okay. I should still be able to get this. And dash right through, take some damage. Oh, why did I unlock? Not really sure what happened there. Oh, and I can't actually lock onto him now. Uh-oh. What happened? I can't lock on. Well, that's a strange bug. And I got the kill instead. That's a shame. I have no idea what happened. Anyway. That is just some tech scrap, and our heavy duty is now up to 10. Oh, just unlocked the gas. Luckily, the laser doesn't set it on fire. Get rid of the arm. Use the counterweight. That'll help with damage immensely. And there it is. There's the kill. Perfect. Break that just to get rid of it. And we have another enemy here, but this is a canister. So my goal is, let's just deal with these for him. Don't give him the opportunity. And of course we have to focus on his, oh, there we go. Don't hit the shield or else I'm in trouble. I'm gonna use another big healing. Back off. This would be a really good one to get the cut on. There it is. All right. Now, do you have a chest piece? Oh, you don't even have a chest piece. That's unfortunate. All right, let's just go for a leg then instead. Pretty easy to keep you stunned by hitting your leg anyway. He said as he takes massive amounts of damage. That's okay. That got a little bit sloppy towards the end, but overall, that is a pretty good first section, first run through research and development. Opening up this door, and we are now back on the exhibition floor. Operations is right down here, and that's where I'm going to head, and that is where we are going to call it an episode. Although I may not rest in between this episode and the nest, simply so I can keep that tech scrap multiplier going.
Good to see you.
But there we go. All right, that is the beginning of research and development. As you can see, lots of enemies, lots of dangerous enemies, lots of really good loot too. But Hopefully you're still enjoying the Surge and the Surge walkthrough, and if you learned anything in this episode, please let me know in the comments below, and if you have your own tips and tricks, go ahead and share those too, and I'll try and incorporate them in a future episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.